Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely crucial for anyone keeping tabs on the booming NCR property market. We're going to objectively deconstruct a recent promotional pitch targeted straight at Delhi NCR residents. It's a totally fascinating look at how real estate developers are positioning emerging markets against established urban centers.
So how do they hook you? Well, the source material jumps right out of the gate with a question we can all relate to. Are you tired of sky-high prices for a 3BHK? Honestly, if you've been dreaming of a spacious spot for your family but feel like finding an affordable home without completely wrecking your budget is impossible, this pitch is talking directly to you.
To persuade buyers, the developer breaks this down very methodically. Here's the roadmap. First, we've got the housing dilemma. Then we'll hit Logic 1, unbeatable value. Logic 2, high-speed connectivity. Logic 3, health and lifestyle. And finally, we'll wrap up with the final pitch.
All right, Section 1, the NCR housing dilemma. Because every good pitch has to start by pinpointing a real, painful problem that needs solving.
The whole premise here is that established spots like Core, Ghaziabad, Noida, and Indirapuram have just become way too expensive. Finding a quality 3BHK in those areas is literally crushing family budgets right now. According to the text, buyers are essentially forced to pay this massive premium just for the zip code.
That brings us to Section 2, Logic 1, unbeatable value. Having set up the problem, the developer's first big argument is all about the financials. And they make a really bold claim here. The pitch states that if you just look a little bit further out, specifically to Modinagar, you can snag a modern high-rise home for a half to a third of the price of a similar apartment in those nearby cities. That's a massive difference. They're positioning this as the absolute smartest financial move to finally get that spacious 3BHK.
But look, a super low price usually sets off alarm bells, right? You start worrying about the catch. Well, the source material anticipates that anxiety and hits back hard. They emphasize this is not some risky under-construction pipe dream. They literally claim zero risk, because these apartments are ready to move in, you get immediate possession, and families are already living there. Plus, they throw in that trusted funding is ready to go, specifically calling out home loans from major players like HDFC Bank.
Moving on to Section 3, Logic 2, high-speed connectivity. Now they're tackling the #1 reason people hesitate to leave the city core, the daily commute. The pitch works really hard to reframe how we think about geographic distance. The old assumption is obvious, right? Moving further out automatically means you're stuck with long, stressful bumper-to-bumper commutes. But their new reality brands Modinagar as this high-speed travel hub, effectively shrinking that travel time down to a highly manageable 20 to 30 minutes.
And 30 is really the magic number here. 30 minutes. They're arguing that your commute from this emerging area is actually going to be faster than sitting in localized traffic just trying to cross a dense area like Ghaziabad.
So how exactly are they pulling off that 30-minute claim? They point directly to two massive infrastructure upgrades. First up, the Delhi-Meerut Expressway. They claim this puts commuters on the absolute fast track to major work hubs like Noida Sector 63 and Indirapuram in just 20 to 25 minutes. Second, they highlight what they call the Rail of the Future, the Namo Bharat Rapid Rail Link, which they say guarantees easy access to East Delhi in about 30 minutes. It's a super strategic, logistical argument.
Next up, Section 4, Logic 3, health and lifestyle. This is where the pitch shifts gears entirely, moving away from cold logistics straight into emotional and environmental well-being.
They drop a very pointed, rhetorical question right in the text. What is the cost of clean air? They are poking right at a massive, constant worry for NCR residents, the relentless pollution and urban congestion. They're challenging the buyer to actually factor in the quality of the air they breathe when pricing out those expensive, dense city center apartments.
The pitch frames the area around Modinagar as this irreplaceable advantage for a family's health, a real escape from the concrete jungle and the smog. But they aren't just selling trees. They list a whole suite of ready-to-use modern amenities: a multi-purpose hall, a game zone, an open gym, fountains, and gated security. They're pitching a complete pollution-free lifestyle, not just square footage.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, the final pitch. This is where the developer brings it all together and actually tries to close the deal.
The source material features a 6-question FAQ, which is distilled perfectly into this cohesive summary. It's basically a rapid-fire snapshot of their whole value proposition. Price, half to a third the cost of nearby cities. Status, ready to move, skipping all those nightmare construction delays. Connectivity, expressway, and RRTS rapid rail. Lifestyle, cleaner air, and wide open spaces. It is a textbook summary designed to hammer home every single positive point they've made so far.
But of course, a real estate pitch isn't complete without a solid call to action, and here they lean heavily into urgency. The text literally reads, "This is an urgent message. For the final units we are including," you see what they're doing? They want to create this intense sense of scarcity, basically telling you that this is your final window to lock in this unbeatable value.
So, what are they throwing in to sweeten the pot? Limited time freebies, of course. The developer explicitly promises a completely free modular kitchen and complete woodwork, like almirahs in all the bedrooms. Because honestly, nothing pushes a hesitant homebuyer over the finish line quite like the promise of free closets.
Now, just for the sake of completeness and total impartiality, the source document wraps up with the official project credentials. This pitch is for a premium township development called Moti City, developed by the Techman Group. They also prominently display their official RERO registration number, UPRERPAJ4035, which is standard regulatory practice to show they're legit and build that crucial buyer trust. So, there you have it. We've walked through the entire anatomy of this real estate pitch, right from the high-cost dilemma to the big promises of unbeatable value, 30-minute connectivity, and fresh air. The developer makes a highly structured, aggressive case for Modinagar over those established NCR hubs. But the final takeaway? Well, that belongs to you. Does this emerging market truly balance your budget with your family's lifestyle needs? Or is paying the premium for the city core still worth it for you? It's a hugely fascinating question to weigh in today's property landscape. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.